Yesterday, I took my eyes off my vision, and I'll tell you what happened. Welcome to Cultivate Conscious Moments with Austin James Haynes. I'll be right back. If you look too long at your circumstances, you might become dizzy and confused. Welcome. Good morning. Good, glorious morning, everyone. It's April 25th. It is National Poetry Month. So this morning, we're going to cultivate some conscious moments. I have many things to share this morning, but the first thing is to pause and breathe. Take a moment. Think about it this way: if you're not able to pause and breathe, you're just a victim. You're like a slave to your mind, who's constantly dumping thoughts, and you're just reacting. And can you just take a moment to just pause and breathe right now? Just think about it. Breathe through the nose, in through the nose. Drive the air down deep into your lungs. Enjoy it. Feel good. Feel that air going down, maybe a little bit more through the nose, and see if you can pause just for a few seconds. And then I remind you every morning that each time we do this, we go from sympathetic mode, fight, flight, fright, to parasympathetic mode, rest, refresh, digest. We are dealing with an ever increasing attention span thanks to social media. And it's likened to when you're driving, and it seems to me that when we're driving and we're wanting to go somewhere, or at least the collective world, it seem like everyone's in a rush, a hot rush to get somewhere, and then someone slow pulls out in front of you. And I'm like the slow driver now, but I've been the other driver where I'm trying to get somewhere and someone pulls out in front, and I'm ready to like get out of the way. I had somebody beep the horn at me the other day because I pulled into a strange parking lot, and I had to figure out where I was going. And the person behind me, I mean, within 2 seconds, they're railing on the horn. And I often think that this is a sign of the times that everything speeds up. So going 1,000 miles an hour is normal, and we're not fully living. We're not fully cultivating conscious moments. We're just cultivating rapidity, and we're cultivating running on the rails of thinking that may be not in our best interest. So yesterday, I got to keep it real. Yours truly, I was focusing on the wrong stuff. I was looking at my circumstances. I was looking at the numbers. I was looking at everything. And I thought I started to get dizzy and confused. But lo, I caught myself. And through that, I stepped through it and allow to feel the discontent, and I even did a video. What does your discontent want to tell you? Maybe it's depression. What is it trying to communicate to you? Depression, discontent. What does it want to communicate? And I demanded. I said, demand that it tell you. Avoid allowing these emotions to come in and just come in like they belong there. Demand that they give you a message. If you feel discontent, depressed, off, stuck, ask the question, what does this mean? What am I to draw from this? demand that it give you the answer. I'm going to jump into the poetry. Well, first of all, I'm going to read a poem from Rumi that just blew my mind this morning and really just hit me between the eyes. Let's jump in. It's National Poetry Month. My name is Austin James Haynes. If you are following on TikTok, this is over on YouTube. You can go subscribe to that channel. It's Austin James Haynes if you're getting value from this. And if you're on YouTube, welcome, subscribe. Okay, here we go. This is called The Way That Moves As You Move. This is called The Way That Moves As You Move. This is going to hit you. Some commentary on the quatrain. As you start on the way appears. When you cease to be real, this is how you slip through your non-spatial home. Think of how you came into this world. How did you get there? Closure of God. But you are still looking for admiration. You love how your customers look at you. You love to sit at the head of the assembly. You close your eyes and see people applauding. As surely as an owl shuts and sees the forest. Here we go. You live in an admiration world, but what do you offer your admirers? If you had true spirit gifts to give, you would not think of customers. I love that last line. It really is so relevant today in a world of obsessively seeking admiration, validation, followers, customers. But this last quatrain, you live in an admiration world, but what do you offer your admirers? If you had true spirit gifts to give, you would not think of customers. And another way to make this relevant into the marketplace, if we were truly wanting to provide value based on our gifts, we wouldn't care about the followers and the admirers. We would simply give our value, knowing that it will serve. And we lead with that. That's where we come from. We put our gifts out into the world, void of followers and customers. We seek relationships. We seek relationships. And if we seek to build relationships, won't everything else build for us? Let me know if you're liking this. I got some folks on here. Let me know if you're liking this, if this is resonating with you. I have another poem to share. And also, for those of you that are on TikTok, I'm going to be sharing from 268-year-old quotes. That's coming up. We're going to be reading from Poor Richard's Almanac. That's going to be on TikTok. And I want you to type something in, whatever's resonating with you on this. Does this resonate with you? So that's Rumi, and I'm reading from the book, A Year with Rumi. Beautiful translations by Coleman Barks. He was a great translator of Rumi. Even though he didn't know the language, the native language, he was this very intuitive poet, and he interpreted Rumi. And it's hard to go anywhere on social media without hearing or seeing somebody quoting Rumi. Good, glorious morning. Is this too deep? Is this hitting home? Like, give me some feedback. There's feedback is welcome. Is this hitting home for you today? If it is, tap that screen. If it's not, I'm glad you stopped in and said hello, and I appreciate you being here. Take a moment to pause and breathe. Breathe in through the nose. Let the belly expand. Fill up the lungs to capacity. Do you ever stop and think about throughout the day, how often do your lungs fill to capacity? And what we practice here is, instead of just a meditation, make life your meditation. And making life your meditation is conditioning yourself to pause and breathe throughout the day, especially in the corporate world, especially in your day to day, to be able to take the time to condition yourself to take 30 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes to slip away into the spatial world and just pause and breathe. And you step out of being a victim and into being liberated. Why? Because most of us are telling ourselves, I have to, I must, I gotta constantly. You're telling, I have to do this, have to do that, have. Your mind is just constantly giving you commands and orders. But when you pause and you step out the side and you just say, I'm going to grab this moment, I'm going to cultivate a conscious moment. You step in, you take that deep breath, you immediately change your biochemistry, your brain shifts, and then you step back into the world in a better state, a better frame, perhaps even a more authentic, real place. Okay, let's get this other poem. I've been focusing, one of my key focuses this year is on solitude. Solitude and stillness. Key focus in this world of hyper content focus. We're hyper focused on more. It's not all our fault. We've been conditioned. The marketplace is constantly putting things in our world. It's constantly wanting to get into our space so that they can infiltrate and get us to take action. And we fall victim to it. We fall victim to the marketing. But I think we're becoming more awake. We're becoming more aware. We're becoming more conscious. We're cultivating conscious moments where we're fully alert, we're fully present, and we're understanding what's best for us, and we're questioning. But what I want to share with you is that solitude and stillness is one of my key principles for 2024. And I happen to come across this poem written, I don't know what year it was written, but it was written by Alexander Pope, who lived from 1688 to 1744. Alexander Pope, 1688 to 1744. And it's called an ode on solitude. An ode on solitude. Happy the man whose wish and care a few paternal acres bound, content to breathe his native air in his own ground, whose herds with milk, whose fields with bread, whose flocks supply him with attire, whose trees in summer yield him shade in winter fire. Blessed who can unconcernedly find hours, days, and years slide soft away in health of body, peace of mind, quiet by day. Sound sleep by night, study and ease. Together mixed sweet recreation and innocence, which most does please with meditation. Thus let me live unseen, unknown, thus unlamented let me die. Steal from the world and not a stone tell where I lie. That's kind of deep. So rather than analyze the whole poem, perhaps you can find your solitude, your own private Idaho, whose herds with milk, whose fields with bread, whose flocks supply him with attire, whose trees in summer yield him shade in winter fire. Good morning, New Again. Blessed who can unconcernedly find hours, days, and years slide away in health of body, peace of mind, quiet by day. This is what the world needs. We need solitude, stillness of mind, a peace that passeth all understanding, beyond the noise and chatter of the world that infiltrates your mind constantly. We live in a time and space where information is everywhere. Do you know that a Sunday edition of the New York Times, or pick a newspaper, the Wall Street Journal, the Sunday edition, for those that still get the newspaper, but you get it online, has more information than some. So one newspaper on a Sunday has more information in it than somebody in the 1700s would have had in their lifetime. Think about the written word. Think about how we have accelerated in our ability to get information. And now, this is why you found this video. This is not popular. It's not sexy. It's not going to get a ton of attention, because it's the idea of cultivating conscious moments through presence and poetry. It's a deeper layer. It's beyond the surface. And I say most people live on the surface longing for depth. Most people live on the surface longing for depth, longing for authenticity. And perhaps that's you this morning. And maybe if this is striking a chord with you, hit the screen, do something. That's all I ask. If it moved you, touched you, just simply tap that screen. I often question myself and say, is this content relevant for TikTok, or should I just abolish it? The full video is up on my YouTube channel if you want to go check that out. I'm going to end the YouTube. We're about 20 minutes. I'll keep the TikTok open. And if you have any comments on the poem, please share. I'm going to also share some quotes that are 268 years old. These are funny. They're very witty. They're eye-opening. They're really, really interesting. And I just want to give a shout out for Julia for hitting that screen. Thank you so, so much. It takes a lot to do this every day. And sometimes you get nothing, but it's not about that, right? So if I go back to the poem, I'm gonna hit this, right? Because I'm gonna read it one more time. But I'll just read the last couple quatrains of this Rumi poem again. but you are still looking for admiration. You love how your customers look at you. You love to sit at the head of the assembly. You close your eyes and see people applauding as surely as an owl shuts and sees the forest. You live in an admiration world, but what do you offer your admirers? If you had true spirit gifts to give, you would not think of customers. That's awesome. So thanks for listening today. I'm going to run this till the end of the month. My name's Austin James Haynes. It's always it's a passion of mine to do this. So this particular series is going to run from today till the end of this month. It's Cultivate Conscious Moments through poetry, presence, and then I'll revamp from there. So if this is moving you, go over to my YouTube channel. If you're on TikTok, you can go over to the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, Austin James Haynes, or you can Google that for more. There's a lot of content on this. I also did a series called Power of Pure Presence, which is up on Roku, and it's all about living in the moment, cultivating these conscious moments. And so I'm going to end the YouTube live. Thanks for being here, YouTube. I'll keep the TikTok open, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8:15 for Cultivate Conscious Moments.